What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week, Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne.
I fought hard for this chair.
We've got a great show for you this week. We're going to be talking about a dangerous new golf game.
The most dangerous game.
We're going to be talking about video game release dates.
Sounds great.
We always talk about that.
But first, Valkyria Chronicles is being remastered and brought to the PlayStation 4 this spring.
Yeah.
Hooray! Hooray!
Never heard
You
of
say
it.
hurrah.
I think it was President Obama that said that game was dope as hell.
Yeah, I believe that was a Obama quote. Valkyria Chronicles was a fairly early PlayStation 3 game.
Kind of in the middle there. Yeah,
What was it? What was it like?
2008, I believe.
2008, 2009 maybe.
Yep, I think
And
we're right
this is
up to
a turn-based strategy game.
Sequel to Crystal Chronicles. Right?
No, not
no,
the sequel.
not at all.
No.
Not a sequel. Sequel to nothing.
Turn-based strategy game, a cult favorite, maybe
Yeah,
you'd say.
absolutely.
Has this sort of, what is the art style? Sort of like World War II?
It's kind of a World War I
Game
steampunk,
looks so
like
pretty.
World
hybrid.
War I steampunk, cell shaded, just absolutely gorgeous. Such a great candidate for a remake, or not a remake,
remaster.
a remaster.
This is the remaster we're watching right now?
Yeah, this is the
is-
trailer for the remaster.
Now, this
Yeah.
has been available on PC for a while, and that PC version looks real good.
And I believe it's on mobile, too.
I don't know about the
No.
mobile, but I do know that the PC version's gorgeous, so I think the PS4 version is just going to look lovely. The PS3 version, frankly, was maybe the best looking thing on the platform, but beyond its prettiness, it's also just a absolutely solid
podcast.
tactical RPG.
Have you played it?
I played it briefly.
It seems like such a Damon game.
When it first came out, but at the time I wasn't like a big PS3 player, so I remember playing it in the office and thinking it was cool. But now I'm excited because I have a
It's this
PS4.
fantastic combination of like 2D tactics, and then when you're in the field, you like place everybody, and then
Yep.
you get to play out their turns and their actions.
Yeah.
Almost vaguely like really old school Rainbow Six-esque. I guess I never made that connection.
No,
to
that's
this
really
now,
good.
but-
I love that. That's a great connection. It's kind of a really immersive Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was a big fan of FF Tactics and Advance Wars and all that kind of stuff, and also a big fan of RTS games. And this was just a
What year did it come out?
2008.
Okay.
And I played it and loved it, but just never I got distracted by other stuff and never went back to it. So this is absolutely, I'm really glad we're going to get a second chance.
Yeah. This,
So coming to PS4 this spring, some people think it is one of, if not the best,
Oh, this is the bold claim that Jared made.
best game that Sega ever produced.
I
No. The words of Jared Petty,
In the words of
Jared
Jared
Lee Petty, were best thing Sega ever did.
yeah.
And then he and I had a conversation about that.
Yeah, and Sam had a really good one there on that too. But I liked Sam's assertion that there was one better.
Their taxi
thing.
service?
No, not that. But yeah,
It was crazy.
I think this is the best Sega game. Sega's got a long legacy of wonderful games. I am not a Sega hater by a long
about
stretch of
Seaman?
imagination.
Oh, yeah.
I like Seaman.
So this brings us to our topic of
Yeah.
discussion. What is the best Sega game? Jared thinks it is Valkyria Chronicles.
Yeah, they have this really great
Wait,
legacy of role.
you thought about it a little bit over the weekend.
I
though,
did.
and-
Yeah, they have this great history of role-playing games. We don't
Yeah.
think of Sega really as a role-playing company, but they made, this is Skies of Arcadia, Phantasy Star, Shining Force, Valkyria Chronicles. They're really good at that.
Dude, Shining Force is dope.
Shining Force and Shining Force 2 are my votes for the best game Sega's ever produced.
That's a great vote.
Yeah. So you say Shining Force 2?
Probably Shining Force 2.
Fantasy
yeah.
Star 4 is really good.
Yeah, it's so good.
Man, if any company, if Square would have made the Fantasy Star games, do you know how often they would come? They would be right up there with like Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6, spoken of in the same breath.
Absolutely. If Phantasy Star 1 had wider distribution, I mean, it was in almost every way superior to Final Fantasy, which is the game that's going to go head-to-head with.
But it
whoa,
came out at
whoa,
the same
whoa,
time.
whoa.
They both were inspired by Dragon Quest because Dragon Quest is insanely popular. And then Sega was like, "Hey, we'll do this," but they put it on a Master System.
Yeah,
and
it's
nobody
for-
had a Master System.
Right.
4 is the one that I played. That's like, is that the one? That's the one, right?
You should play 1, 2, and 4. 4 is the best.
Yeah, Shining Force is really good. My vote
So,
for
yeah,
best Sega game ever.
Hold on, I want to touch on Shining Force briefly. If you guys haven't played Shining Force, check it out somehow. I think they're available on the Wii Virtual Console.
Oh, is that true?
Sequel to Life Force.
Nope,
No,
that's
no.
not true.
They're on mobile.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great way to play them.
Because they use the Genesis controller. I mean, if it were point and
Yeah,
click,
it should
it'd be
just be a
different.
point.
but
It has an on-screen like D-pad, which I hate.
Yeah.
But these are turn-based strategy games, and they're huge. They're sprawling, and as you are like traveling around the countryside, you're gaining new members to your party. And
Yep.
each new member,
Missed that on Genesis, really?
yeah,
It's so sophisticated
so
as a
good.
16-bit. Like, that game is incredible today in 2016, but the fact that 20 years ago they were doing stuff like that.
So
that
that's
some
the same
games-
era as Ogre Battle?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Shining Force, in my mind, it's slightly earlier. But
It's
I guess
more
I
like
don't know.
Fire Emblem. That's
Oh, like
gonna
Fire
be-
Emblem.
Yeah,
Or
it feels,
Godzilla
feels like a Fire Emblem game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, they're great.
Did you guys ever play Beyond Oasis on Genesis?
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That was like their supposed to be their Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, really well done though.
That was an expensive cartridge.
That was a
yeah,
20
Dragon
questions
Ball.
game at one point.
Yeah, that
We
was
missed
in
it.
20 questions.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, it
was.
I would have got it.
Yeah. Didn't get Alan Wake.
Well, we can do that a third time and see if we get it. My favorite Sega thing that Sega ever did is kind of it's not really a game, but it's software. Talked to Jared about this a long time. The Sega CD came with a CD player, and it was the first way I ever had to play my own music
too.
on CD.
That was your first CD player.
Yeah, and I hooked up I got a little Radio Shack amp, and I got speakers, and it had a really cool. It wasn't cool. It had a very functional visual display, but you could do things like sequence tracks or like set things on repeat. And I was 12, 13. Listening to pop music, and I had just joined one of those Columbia CD clubs
Yeah.
and gotten like 14 CDs,
Yeah.
like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, and just like 90s
Yeah.
standard stuff. And I just loved it.
And
And
that
I
was
did
the
that
era-
so much more in my Sega CD gaming. Like I played CDs on it.
That was the era that's like CD prices were like plummeting too, right?
Best Buy always had like $9.99 or less for every CD. But the important thing for that was that I didn't know anybody with CD players either. They
Really?
weren't around. People's parents had them sometimes, but they're $1,000. The Sega CD was
Yeah.
$250 or $299 I think when it came out. And you already had a Genesis, and it had stereo output, and you could I just for hours would just listen to music on it. It was a big deal.
If I'm not mistaken, Shining Force 3 was a Sega CD game.
That was a Sega Saturn game.
Never saw that.
Shining Force 3?
Yeah, I thought it was Saturn. I thought it came out in multiple parts.
There is a Sega CD Shining Force, but I think it's a spin-off.
Okay, not 3.
It's not actually 3. Yeah, it's a kind of a weird spin-off,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Man,
be
Well,
wrong
Shining
about
Force was a spin-off of Shining in the Darkness.
There's that.
Which is
Yeah,
more
Shining's
like
a whole series.
A
yeah.
wizardry style first-person turn-based dungeon
Yeah,
it's
crawler.
weird to see the spin-off, sort of surpass the original.
Shining Force.
Yeah.
Dude, and then there's the Afterburner cabinet.
Oh, the thing that moved
Well,
you
that
around.
thing, yeah, that thing's awesome.
That's what I was
Sega
gonna say,
made
like
that.
the best thing Sega ever made. I'm not a huge arcade guy, so someone else would have to. But just Virtua Cop and Crazy Taxi.
Zaxxon!
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go back that
Virtua
far.
Racing was amazing when it came out.
The Virtual Fighter games.
Right.
I don't know that they're like.
I have a Sega arcade game to submit for your consideration.
Golden Axe.
I really like this one.
Oh, Congo
Congo
Bongo!
Bongo.
That's
One
right.
of my favorite games ever. A very, very influential game in my life.
I feel like,
Congo
I
is
feel
an
like we
awesome
just talked
arcade
about
game.
Congo. I feel
Yeah.
like when
Well,
you talk
Congo
to Sam,
Bongo is significant. I know Jared can tell the story too. But the team that worked on Donkey Kong
Right.
was actually outsourced by Nintendo for coding. Of course, Shigeru Miyamoto
So
designed
hard.
a bunch of stuff. The team that coded Donkey Kong was then employed by Sega to do this game.
Yeah.
So
Is
this
it the
is
same team-
as much of a sequel as Donkey Kong Jr.
Is it the same team that did Zaxxon?
Well, it's the same hardware as Zaxxon, same
it's
cabinet.
also
Yeah,
isometric.
And then they have some lesser ones. Like they have this beautiful Star Trek Vector game that Sega made. Do you remember
God.
that thing?
That
It's
might be my
absolutely
favorite thing.
Gorgeous. That's an amazing cabinet. It's this beautiful color Vector arcade game. They had the Thunderblade cabinet. Have you ever seen this thing? The non-powered moving
the
Thunderblade
helicopter game?
Yeah.
That game is awesome.
I
Yeah.
think Sega's fate was sealed when Atari got Star Wars and they got Star Trek, and they never got back up after that.
Never
but Star Trek
recovered.
was a really good vector game.
Yeah.
Congo Bongo, though.
Also, it's wrong not to talk about Sega's games without talking about how great Choo Choo Rocket was with 4 people.
Choo Choo Rocket.
And the
Rocket's
Dreamcast in general.
dope.
Just almost everything they released for Dreamcast
Yeah.
was at least good.
I don't think the Sonic games are very good, and I don't think Shenmue is good. So
We're getting a third one.
I would say my pick is going to be Virtua Tennis.
Virtua
Oh,
Tennis. That's
great
a fun game.
choice.
Virtua Tennis is one of only a handful of games that people use the expression like, "Oh, I lost track of time," or "Before I knew it, the sun was coming up." And I played Virtua Tennis at a friend's house, and that's one of the only times in my life that's literally happened to me. Like going through the mini games and working through the challenges, and then I look up and the sun's starting to come up, and I'm like, "Holy crap, what just happened?" Like this game of all games is what did it to me. Usually I can only play for like 2 or 3 hours. Even the greatest games, I'm like, I just need to take a break and walk away for a little while. But that one just felt so perfect. I just stuck with it.
That's a superb video game. That's a great choice.
Honorary mention to Streets of Rage. People really like Streets of Rage.
Oh yeah, they have a wonderful legacy. It's a proud. A lot of ways they were almost ahead of their time a lot of the times, but they just mismanaged that company so badly. They had so many chances to succeed, and they always managed to find a way to hamstring themselves. at their moment of imminent glory, they would find a way to screw themselves up.
Also,
Nights
Fantasy Zone.
into Dreams. We didn't mention
Fantasy
Nights.
Zone. Nights.
Fantasy Zone, great game, and Knights, geez.
What's the 3D one? The really impressive one.
Well,
Not
the-
3D, but right at times Fantasy Zone.
Space
Weird.
Harrier?
Space Harrier. Yeah.
Okay,
Space Harrier.
Yeah, the
It's
raster
pretty
graphics.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bag on Sega a lot on GameScoop, but I was actually a Sega kid growing up. Not like I always got the Sega stuff first, and then the Nintendo stuff. Years in, like I didn't have a SNES till I think the PS1 era.
2010.
Yeah, I know. But it was like I think I got the PS1 and Super Nintendo the same year and caught up on all the Super Nintendo classics. So I have a lot of fondness for all of Sega's stuff.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating, maybe, and one of the reasons that it
Vector Man,
sounds
cool.
like we're picking on Sega is because Sonic is their symbol and Sonic's so popular. But there are 50 Sega games that are better than Sonic or Sonic 2, which are probably the best Sonic games. And I think that's where it becomes frustrating. So, like, there's this incredibly broad legacy, but we narrow it down to that one marketing gimmick they created, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. This week we found out about a new game from former Burnout developers, formed the new studio Three Fields Entertainment, and they're making a game called Dangerous Golf.
This is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah?
Is this a sequel to Ninja Golf?
I don't know, but we've talked before. We like video game golf.
Yeah.
We like Mario Golf.
Do you remember
like
how there's an
Hot
Aqua
Shots
Teen
Golf.
Hunger Force golf game?
I didn't.
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we need to find this game and play.
Okay. Dangerous Golf from former Burnout devs. It's coming out in May for console and PC.
Wow.
And they say it is as serious.
Oh, that looks so cool.
They say it's on Unreal Engine 4. They say it's as serious a golf game as Burnout was a serious simulation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's such a
Driving
great
games.
quote.
So we're talking about people that designed pre-Burnout Paradise Burnouts.
Yeah,
Is that the
So I'm
idea?
assuming.
Well, because
here's-
that's a very different type of game. It's
They
like
also-
a puzzle game with physics.
Yeah. They also worked on Black, these guys. So they want to sort
yeah,
of
I'm
like
gonna
take
take
the
Destructive
destruction
environments.
from Black.
That's what I was gonna say. Is knowing nothing about this game
No.
other than the conversation we just had and this screenshot.
Yep. You're like,
I'm
all
gonna
right.
go, I'm gonna go ahead and extrapolate. Here's what I'm gonna guess: is it's got a normal hit the ball and try to bounce it off stuff and get it in the hole like arcade golf. But I bet it also has like a cool destruction mode and
yep.
use your ball to cause as much damage as you can. Oh man.
Yeah, there's a couple of cool things there. I think
I'm totally on
gimmick
board.
golf games can be great. I
Yeah.
joked about it, but Atari 7800 Ninja Golf. We were just talking about that game
Kirby's
this
Dream
morning.
Course?
I was
Yeah,
just gonna
yeah.
say, Kirby. I'm a huge fan of gimmick golf games.
Yeah, it's great. You would hit the ball to the hole, and then you have to have a side-scrolling ninja battle to get to where your ball landed.
Yeah.
And then and the boss fights were giant dragons hovering over the green. It was great. What was that one that was like a launch title for Wii? That was really fun too. It was kind of a gimmicky, explosive golf game. Do you remember that cutesy graphics? What was that called?
I think it was made by Camelot too. if
I really
remember
liked
right.
it, but it was this kind of thing, kind of a gimmick, like super-powered golf game.
Did you ever play Ribbit King?
No, what's that?
It's a really cool gimmick golf game. It's great.
For what?
PS2 or PS1.
Oh,
Ribbit King is oh man, that's such a deep cut. But there's like two people listening to GameScoop. They're like, oh,
King! You remember
Look up-
Kirby's Dream Course?
look up a video of it. It's great.
Dangerous Golf. So a little bit of description of the game said you're not striving for par or aiming for birdie. You're playing for dollar damage as your high score.
Ooh.
Progress. You're awarded points for trick shots and ricochet techniques, and for
it.
destroying stuff. Turn your golf ball into a bomb. Set off your smash breaker. Destructive powers increase as the ball heats up, and there are indoor environments.
This sounds
where
like
you
it's
have lots of
made
stuff
for
to
YouTube
destroy.
videos.
Yeah. Well, and I
Right.
also I love just like in Burnout, I love the horse aspect of it. Like, here's what I did. Now you take your turn and see if you can cause
Yeah.
even more damage.
Also have on and offline multiplayer.
Yeah.
Pretty
I am-
dangerous golf coming
Scoop.
this May.
IGN, 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10.
Was that the release date discussion?
No, but speaking of a release date discussion, Mighty Number 9 has been delayed for a third time,
Yeah.
and it's just basically been delayed indefinitely. It has no new release date this time.
Yeah.
It was
sounds
supposed
like
to be out in February, and now they're just like, we got to keep working on it. It'll be out when it's done.
It's such baloney.
Yeah.
Well, their excuse was they're adding these networking features and functions, and so it's that, and they said that, and they said because they're releasing on so many platforms that it's challenging for really, which I'm sensitive to. Like, yeah, Vita and Wii and just across the board all these platforms, and with a small team that can be tough. But I also, here's the thing that frustrates me or makes me a little angry about this news is they announced in January, a month before the release date, an indefinite delay. I'm like, dude, you guys knew before now. They must have known, what, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months ago that they weren't going to be
What was the
releasing
other
in
game that
February.
Inafune announced and is working on?
Yeah,
That was supposed to come out
The
this year.
Castlevania.
Bloodline?
Yeah.
No.
The-
It is-
No, you said
Blood is in the
You're talking
title.
about red dust, red something.
got
Yeah,
blood in the
no,
title.
it's a sci-fi with a dog. There's like a robot dog. And we got little paper cutout things at E3 for them.
My ignorance shines forth.
Recore.
here.
Recore.
Oh wait,
Thank
Recore,
you,
not the
Sean.
red thing. Okay, I was thinking
Yeah.
about the other one. That's
I was thinking of the
another
Igarashi game.
No,
Yeah.
so was I.
Oh, you think of Igarashi?
We both made the
Inafune.
same mistake.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Recore is another game that also got delayed, but like I can't believe it's even close to coming out because it was just debuted at E3.
It feels very disingenuous a month before a game's release date to have an indefinite delay and claim like, oh, we're just need more. Like, you don't need that much more time when you're a month away. Like, they just knew they weren't a month away forever ago. It's frustrating.
All that said, and I think it's a absolutely correct point you're making. I am glad that they delayed it rather than release it incomplete, which occasionally happens.
Do you
as
think
well
it'll have
from
a Wily's
publisher
Castle?
pressure. But that'd be amazing if it did. Only if it has that do 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 do
Yeah.
do 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 do
Dr.
do
Wily.
thing.
I love the map screen,
Dr. Wily.
only on Wily's Castle.
Yeah.
It's like they give you the map screen they're going through, and you're like, oh yeah, I did kind of just go through that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think that this looks up to Mega Man standards. I don't know.
What I've played of it, I've really liked.
This delay prompted a GameScoop fan to write into us. I believe it's their first time writing in. This is Big Tony style.
Oh, I haven't heard from him in a while.
They say, at what point before a game is released do you think developers should announce the release date? I asked this after noticing Mighty No. 9's second delay. They are deciding to hold off on an official release date until they are sure. Makes you wonder why they even decided to announce dates before when they were not able to hit them.
Damon, are you Big Tony style?
I've met Big Tony style.
Have you? Is
I
he
mean-
big?
He's a nice man. He's not big.
Oh, that's
You've met, but have you ever
I may have met
seen
him
he
too.
and
I
I
don't
in the
know.
same room together?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, I guess it's not me.
I was just reading an old piece.
good.
Have you ever read the last days of Fallout 2? Or not Fallout 2, jeez. I can't remember.
2.
Half-Life 2, pardon me. You know, the
Final hours. of
Right,
Half-Life
final
2?
hours of Half-Life 2, which is actually about like the last year of its development after that huge delay.
Yes.
That's a wonderful piece, but
By
it
Jeff
does.
Keighley.
Yeah, it does offer some. If I knew the title of it, I could have remembered the author. It does offer some insight into how even the best of intentions can go terribly awry in this process. I like to be forgiving on it. I do think that when you're getting that close, you should be a little more transparent. I think.
Well, and
I
they're
think just raise
kickstarted.
that.
That's another reason to be transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In terms of what, like, well, I think to get to heart of Big Tony style question, for a big AAA action game, it makes sense to announce your release date far in advance because it's a little bit like summer movies. Like, you don't want Call of Duty and Halo coming out on the same day. So they put their stake in the ground and say, here's when our stuff's dropping. You know, we're Fallout. Tomb Raider, you can launch on this day if you want, but you might want to, move a week or two.
They didn't.
But for a smaller game, yeah, I guess I'm a little bit mixed up. I don't know any clear advantage to, months ago saying, yep, we're releasing on this day. Like, why do that to yourself?
A lot of people point to Fallout 4 for the ideal way to do it. Announce at E3, ship in November.
Yeah.
I point to George R. R. Martin.
Do you?
Yeah,
He has always said when it's done, it'll be done.
The
but
Mighty
then his
Number 9.
publishers put the release dates on.
Mighty
It's
Number
what-
9 of the book world, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yes, that's what they've always said.
Well, all right then. There's something to know.
No, I mean, I just thought...
A song of Iceman and Fireman,
That's pretty good.
There you go.
Flame Man.
That's pretty good.
Flame?
That's pretty good. Heatman, Flame Man.
Heatman.
There's several of them.
Do you think developers should try and hold their release date until the game is just about finished and ready to go?
The other end of it is we don't know what the publishers and the platforms are requiring of them too. I mean, it may be that for one of these multiple platforms that they were releasing on, they had to arrange it ahead of time. That's possible. So they went ahead and made a release date announcement because of that.
Yeah.
We don't know that end of it. So it's hard for me to say. But ideally, that 4-month window is pretty great. I mean, that's the way to do it. Ooh, game, it's coming out. Somebody in the office speculates, I don't remember who, they like to joke that, it may be Dan, that Half-Life 3 one day is just going to appear on Steam.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally think that's how Valve will do it.
That would be
There's only a
amazing.
few companies that can get away with it. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think it's a miracle that video games get made at all. They just feel impossibly complex, and all the disciplines they bring together, from design to art to music to voice and all the rest of it, and then all the partners that you have to partner with to get it on their digital stores. Like, I run features at IGN, so I deal farther out than most people. Like, I work on big projects that talk to, product and editorial and video and foreign offices, and like, that's such a tiny thing compared to making a giant, many hour long video game that I don't know how you can see into your crystal ball and know where you're going to be in 12 months. Like, it feels impossible to me.
Yeah, there must
So
be
it's a
some
miracle
other
every
purpose.
time it even happens.
There must be some other purpose for a release date. Maybe it's just to get another press release out or something. I don't know.
Well, it also
Because
lights a
I've
fire
been
under the
trained not
staff.
to pay attention to them. I just
Yeah.
don't. I mean, since Zelda 2, right?
That's true. That was a giant lie. They're like, keep looking for it. It's
Yeah.
out there somewhere, maybe. And
Chip-
yeah, in
and there's
Canada,
the chip
it
shortage.
was.
But every Zelda game is always said, here's the window it's coming out in, and then 2 years later, it's still not out.
Yeah, I think we were.
So
we
I
were
just don't. I don't care anymore.
We were
It's
talking
like,
about doing an
it doesn't mean
infographic where,
anything.
like, I think literally every Zelda game's been delayed.
That's amazing.
Or maybe that might not be true, but like it's famous. Like, it's a franchise famous for
Yeah.
its delays. I think part of it is internal. Like, this is you telling your team, like, yo, guys, this is the day. Like, keep working. Like,
Yeah.
you need to give people those deadlines in order to eventually just stop tinkering with stuff. And
Fight
ship it.
against feature creep and just be like, we're going to lock this down.
There is plenty else to play while we wait for Mighty Number 9.
Oh my goodness gracious, there is.
Next email comes from Jason. And he says,
Jason.
I tried to tweet Jared about this a few days ago.
Did I not respond?
You can CC me. I'm his boss.
Don't think I got my point across effectively. Do you remember hearing from Jason on Twitter?
I've heard from a few people on Twitter recently. I don't know.
I wanted to make sure my point was heard accurately.
All right.
Whoa. I don't know if we want to enable this.
I think that games media
Jared, now's your
sometimes...
chance just to walk out of it.
It's nothing bad. I think that games media sometimes ignores a population that listens and reads every day. I am 37, father of 2, under 10. I'm a husband, a farmer, and a gamer.
Cool.
Between getting up at 5:30 in the morning to start ironing everyone's clothes and packing lunches and getting the morning chores done,
Good-looking kids.
running any errands that need to be done, getting back home to get some work done, then lunch, then work, then pick up kids, then teach horseback riding, then cook
Nice.
dinner, then possibly dance class or 4-H, then baths, then bedtime, I might begin to play a game at this point.
This guy's way past 140 characters
Yeah,
already.
you need a 3DS.
I don't care for Fallout 4 because I don't have 100 plus hours to dedicate to a game, whereas Uncharted is a nice 10-ish hours and tells a beautiful story, all compact-like.
Yeah.
There's a population of us out there that would like that dad perspective every now and then.
I remember this guy now. I just didn't know what to write back in a Twitter-sized window. I
We
do
would
remember
love
this.
to be heard and told to look into buying certain things and not. I love the excitement that the 20-somethings and early 30-year-olds bring, but it isn't my voice. I don't have the ability to buy a bunch of games that sound awesome and sandbag them until I have time later. I have the ability to buy, say, 5 games a year at most. One of them has to be Infinity whatever, because my daughters, and maybe a Wii U game that we both might enjoy, like
Yeah.
Wind Waker. So were you talking about how you prefer longer games or something?
No,
Where
I
does-
don't
where does this
remember
come
what
from?
this came from. I remember I remember him writing to me now, and I think I wrote him back and thanked him to talk about it. It's always good to hear people looking
Thank
for
you
new
for your
different things. No, not just that. The fact is, he's got a very valid point. We want to try to cater to all kinds of people who play games. I mean, IGN
Justin
is
should be able to
Is he
speak
asking
to the
to
dad gamer.
Well,
Is he asking to get recommendations for games, or is he just...
I think he's just asking that we keep in mind as we're talking about games and recommending them that not everyone is looking for a gigantic 100 plus hour Witcher 3.
It can absolutely be a
Fallout
negative
4.
more than a positive.
Sure.
100%.
But I mean, that's. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
As a father,
Yeah.
no, I have so much more appreciation. So I started as the mobile guy at IGN, and then I stopped. I didn't play mobile games for a couple years when that wasn't my job anymore. And I picked it back up when I had my daughter. The 3DS, like Sam mentioned, and iPad have just been a lifesaver, and I do much, much more gaming there. And that's how I get my fix of, I want to solve a puzzle and have fun and stay plugged into, the world of video games, but I can't necessarily play. I'm doing better this year, but like last year I just missed all those AAA open world games because there was no time to fit that in my life. So I would recommend that to Jason, first of all. If mobile's not your thing, I know it's not, everybody likes that flavor. The 3DS and Vita are strong consoles. I would also say there's a website, How Long to Beat. I don't know if it's howlongtobeat.com. If you just Google How Long to Beat, it'll turn up. And it's all crowdsourced data where you say, I played The Witcher 3 and it took me 40 hours to beat it, and it's run in like such an OCD way, and I mean that in a way that like I love the way it's put together, that it's like, because I'm like, but wait a second, how long to like 100% it? And it's got that stat too, and it's like, but what if I'm really fast and just blast through it? How long? So it'll tell you like, just blast through the story, 12 hours. It'll take the average person 16 hours. If you want 100% it, it'll take you 25 hours. And I totally reference that website before I start, a weird random game like This is a deep cut, but do you remember the Ghostbusters game that came out
Yeah.
last gen with the original voice
Yeah.
actors?
Yeah.
I had that game in my Steam library, and just on a whim, I was like, huh. But I used How Long to Beat, and I'm like, oh, it's 7 hours long. Totally, you know.
Yeah.
And if it would have said 14, I probably wouldn't have picked it up.
I think that what he was asking also was, what are we here at IGN interested in doing about that? I mean, the recommendations you're making are good, and I think we do, to a point, cover those kinds of products with reviews and guides in particular for shorter games. I think about something like Oxenfree, for example, or that Dragon Cancer, or some of the other things we looked at. But
Firewatch.
Or Firewatch. But integrating that suggestion, hey, you don't have a lot of time, I do think we could do more around that. Actually, that idea that he planted there, I haven't figured out what to do with in games yet, but I just pitched a feature to Miranda, anime related to that. And yeah, we haven't talked about this yet. So, but yeah.
So you
I've heard
pitched
of
to
it.
Miranda now?
Yeah. Well, she does the anime stuff, so I ran it by her first. But yeah, a sort of an anime thing for people who don't have a lot of time and still enjoy the medium.
No, for sure. Like, that's a real, like, I watch, One Piece is the only anime that I watch. And it's like 500 episodes at this point, so I would never recommend it to anybody. They're like, oh, you really like it? Should I watch it? I'm like, no.
Well, do you have
Like,
a
it's-
year?
Yeah, it'll take literally so long. Like, don't bother.
So we do care, a lot of us, that's our lives. I do a lot of my gaming on the bus, on handheld, or on PC late at night.
Justin, I nominate you as executive editor of our dad gaming coverage.
Shit, great, I'm down. The last piece of this puzzle that I want to touch on is that
You got puzzles on the mind lately. Playing too much Witness.
there's no such thing as too much witness.
I think there is.
It's really a pet peeve of mine, and it's bothered me in an informal way, and I think I might try to formalize it here at IGN, is that I really dislike praising a game for being big. It's like, well, so what? That's a meaningless... Like, you praise a game for being good or fun.
I disagree with that because when I was a kid,
Yeah,
it
it's
meant a
totally different,
whole
yeah.
lot to me. When I got Final Fantasy and I realized that there was games that were 50, 60 hours long, that changed my life.
Well, I'm not saying don't note that it's big, but I'm just saying it shouldn't explicitly be a plus. Like, I feel like most modern games have about 20 hours of good idea stretched out into 40 hours of game. Like, they wear out their welcome. Like, I don't beat games anymore. I just eventually
Just
peter
play
out.
till you feel like you've gotten
I'll play till I
out
got
of
my
it.
fill and then stop. And I understand the perspective of someone that only gets a couple games a year, but I don't think that makes it a better product.
I think we should note when it's big, and I absolutely agree that a lot of them are stretched out. I do think we should praise when a game is both big and consistently good throughout. When that does take place, that is something to
The games we
sing
praise
from the
are
heavens.
generally playground sandbox games that are big. So it's like you can do one thing in them and have a shorter game, but the fact that they built all this other stuff to do, that's when you praise the size of the game, when it's fun to do. If it's genuinely big and there's a lot to do but you don't have to do it all, that's something to praise because it means that the person investing their hard-earned money into one game is really getting a good deal for it.
Yeah, I understand that perspective. For me, the example is Fallout, where they were I eventually, like in the beginning, I went into every building and explored every dungeon. Then I'm like, okay, I'm either going to find raiders or super mutants or ghouls. And those are the three things, or possibly like creatures. Those are the four things you're going to fight, and you're going to do it 100 times. And like I stopped, I'm like, I don't
500
want
times, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go in this building anymore because it's going to have raiders in it. Like,
Oh, see, I had a very different experience with Fallout, but I may be in the minority on that. I mean, yes, I found them. I just didn't mind. I play Fallout for the environments much more than for the enemies, and so I kept finding really neat things that made me happy hidden around the world, and I care less about what I'm fighting while I'm doing it. There's actually, if you take the Fallout guide and look at all the enemy classes, there's more than you realize there. That's another part that struck me. There was a lot more variety in Fallout than it seems when you're playing Fallout.
Rat scorpions are terrifying.
They are.
Yeah, they're really
Fallout
bad.
4.
We have a Fallout podcast that I really recommend GameScoop fans check out called Vault IGN.
We do. We have one of those.
Jared hosts it. It's very popular, and it's popular because it's very good. So check that out. Well,
Thanks, Sam.
I shouldn't have to plug your damn podcast for you.
Oh, that was nice of you.
See, I turned that around.
I
Yeah,
did.
that was pretty good.
I should mention too that
Give me my chair.
you should have Brandon Tyrell in there because he picked up everything in every single place he went into when he started playing that game.
Okay, so we invited Brandon
Hold
on
on,
the
hold on.
original.
We don't need. Let's say
I know.
this.
I'm just
this
saying.
for another
I want to
show,
hear
so
that story.
We need to move on.
I
with
want to hear that story.
This show. It is time to play video game 20 questions. Everyone knows how this works. I
don't know how it works.
My panel has 20 yes or no questions to guess this week's mystery game, which was suggested by Sean Hannon.
Okay.
We may begin.
Okay.
Not Sean Hannity, Sean Hannon, right?
Right.
Okay.
Not Sean Hannity.
Sean
Sean
Hannity.
Hannon, the hand cannon.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you play this game? Is your character on foot? Are they running on their feet?
Okay.
Just ask if it's Alan Wake.
It's Octodad!
It's Octodad.
Your character is very abstract in this game.
That's not a yes or no question. You just
Right.
have to give us the answer to the
I
game
don't-
now.
I don't
and we
know.
won on one question.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
So we just won't.
So that's a
I
freebie.
bet it's kicks.
That'll be your. I'll just give you a
What do you
free.
think?
Wow, that's a big
What's that,
freebie.
Kicks? That would
Kicks.
be amazing. Yeah, you're just a little thing drawing squares.
Right.
That's a great game. Such a good
Kicks
game.
is a great game.
Yeah, I just got Kicks for Christmas.
That'd be amazing if you guys kicks right now.
No, I'm sticking with Octodad. Was it released prior to January 1st, 2000?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sans hose.
Sam only knows old games.
No, I know
You
new
play
games.
all the new
It's just
games, but
harder.
they're not lodged in my memory in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, was it made after 2010?
No.
Okay, so it's falling in that one down.
Okay,
Oh, man, I just remembered I wanted to change how that works. I was going to start doing it by console generation instead of year, because then we have to always narrow it down to things that
Oh,
overlap.
yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I have some good
so
questions.
did this game come out in the PS3 360 era?
Yes.
It's probably
Okay.
it's probably a PC or handheld game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or could be that Wii though. Could be that Wii.
I think it's probably a PC or handheld game.
Is this game depicted from a third person perspective?
It's every extend extra, extreme.
It's not. That is not. It's not clear.
It's not clear whether it's from third person.
Yeah.
But you play as an abstract thing, so it's not.
But yeah, but
Yeah,
it's still
it's that-
third person.
I
That would
don't
mean
think
you're
that's-
outside looking in. Like, I mean, you're either inside looking out or
But
outside
if it's like
looking
a
in,
puzzle,
right?
if it's like something again like
So like, let me
Kicks
let me
is
ask this:
Kicks third
Is
person.
Tetris played from a first person or third person perspective?
Well, I'm not the block, so I would figure.
Is this a puzzle game?
Yes.
All right, cool.
That's fine.
All right.
That's a good one.
Oh, man. Okay, so we got that.
Man, I wish it was. Okay.
Good puzzle games from that generation. Let's see, we had Boom Blocks. We had.
Boombox is dope.
Yeah.
But that
let's
has a
see.
perspective.
It does have a perspective.
We always go to Boombox on this. I don't know
Good.
why. But there's
Hey,
Medios,
I got one.
Medios, and what's the PlayStation version? Luminous.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna guess Luminous. Is this game famous for its soundtrack?
No.
Okay.
Not Luminous. Possibly Medios.
Is the game popular in a handheld?
I think. Well, you say handheld.
Phone.
Oh.
It's a phone game.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is this a mobile game?
It is a mobile game.
Okay. All right.
Was it on
Well.
iPhone? Should we just burn that one too? Can we ask that?
Sure.
I don't know if it was on iPhone.
iPod
Apple devices.
or Apple device.
If you're asking if it was on Apple devices, sure. You gotta say
Okay.
yes to that.
All right.
So
Apple
an
devices.
iPad only.
iPad puzzle game.
Mobile puzzle games.
Justin,
But
have fun.
Well, but what's
Yeah.
weird about this is he
You
said
can take this one, buddy.
He said before 2010.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the iPhone has been
around
around
So
forever.
it's, yeah, but like barely. Like that makes it like a.
iPad
It's- So first of all, I never said it was mobile only.
Uh-huh.
And it's when you asked if it was before 2010, I was referring to its original release date.
Okay.
Oh man.
So originally released, then ported to iOS. Puzzle game.
Yeah, not,
Abstract.
the iOS is a trap. Don't get hung up on that.
right. So it's something that.
Zuma.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah. Threes.
no, what was the other one?
Peggle?
Actually, I was just yeah.
Peggle's good.
Damon's favorite game?
Does it have Ode to Joy in it?
No.
No, you already asked if it was famous for its
It
music.
sounds
Well, yeah,
right,
but
yeah.
I mean that's be a stretch for Peggle.
So yeah.
Peggle's a
Does
totally
this
good-
game involve blocks?
No.
Ooh, that's a really
No
good
blocks,
question.
no
Let's narrow
blocks.
down the puzzle.
That's 10.
That's
does
great.
this game involve orbs or circles?
Kind of, yeah.
Does it involve physics?
Yes.
Osmos?
Oh, I love Osmos.
That's 12.
Let's see, orbs and circles. I don't play a lot of puzzle games, so I'm in trouble here.
I wish it was Peggle.
Yep. So, but it doesn't feature Ode to Joy, so it's not a Peggle game.
In physics.
About little balls. There's physics involved.
Well, there are. He said little balls are involved.
Yeah.
Did we already ask 2D versus 3D? I keep picturing 2D.
No, you
but
can ask that. We asked perspective, which didn't make sense.
Yeah.
it sounds
So
like
is
it's
this
2D.
is this a 2D game?
It's a 2D game.
It's a 2D game. Not famous for its soundtrack. Appeared on iOS. Did you ever confirm the handheld thing, or?
Yeah, he said it's kind of.
It's not a handheld game.
It's not a
like
handheld
it's not on like a.
So if it ended up on iOS, eventually it's either
Portable
PC
gaming device.
or a console game. Gosh, I just do not play a lot of puzzle games. Really in trouble. Just like Woody Pop columns.
Yeah.
So- Oh, this is
Next question.
Yep.
I know. I'm trying to think of like an art style question
Yeah, I
or
know.
something like that.
Yep.
Or does it have sequels?
No.
No sequels. The only one.
Ooh, that makes it
Jeez.
so much harder.
Let's see.
This game appear on Xbox Live Arcade.
No. That's 15.
Interesting. Wow. So it didn't.
15. Really? Oh man, I feel like we were just at 5 and narrowed down to puzzle, and then we
Yeah.
got hung up.
So it's either Wii or PS3 most likely that it was ported from, or PC. It could be a Flash game of some kind. I mean, do you think if I asked if it was originally a Flash game that would be a waste or not, guys?
I couldn't name a lot of games based on that. I mean, there's
That
this
doesn't help me.
I mean,
that
I think of,
silly
like-
physics runner game, and
Yeah, I think of Bejeweled.
For the panel's information,
Bejeweled's pretty good.
I would never pick a Flash game to play for Video Game 20 Questions.
Okay, so it's not Bejeweled. All right. So let's see.
and it's too abstract to be Angry Birds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It features balls
Features orbs.
and physics.
Orbs.
Orbs
That
physics.
could be Bejeweled, right?
It could be, but Bejeweled was a Flash game. at some
Bejeweled
point,
also isn't
right?
physics.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in the sense of
Yeah,
fall.
the
Don't
dropping.
things fall?
I mean, yeah, things fall. That's where I was thinking.
The things fall down from the top of the screen in this game. Like, is that the mechanic?
No.
Ooh. Oh, we're failing here, guys.
Do we know what this game is?
Yes, I won't count that question.
All kinds of abstract things.
You know, could Candy Crush have come out back then or something
it didn't
famous
come out
like
back
that that's famous now?
No,
because that would have
Yep.
Yep. Let's see.
You know, it is a physics-based puzzle game.
Yep.
Originally released in 2008. Came to...
We didn't know 2008.
We didn't know 2000.
Oh, sorry. You know, it was before... I spoiled that for you. It was before. It was originally released before 2010.
Fruit Ninja?
No, it's
it's
not.
not a puzzle game.
Why not?
Well, Fruit Ninja is more of a reactive game than a puzzle game.
But it's from that era.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing I'm really picturing from that era and why this is tripping me up is I'm only picturing like 360 games. I'm not.
I know.
I'm not able to
Isn't that
picture like PSP or DS or like PC puzzle games.
Did
from
this
the
game
era.
appear on Wii?
Yes.
Okay, so it was on Wii. That helps.
That does help.
Okay, so let's see. Zack and Wiki's an adventure
What are
puzzle
some
game.
of the Brain Age era games that are like brain?
Yeah, but he said it wasn't a handheld though.
No, you didn't.
You
Actually,
just
he did,
said it was
right?
on DS.
I did say that.
Oh
No.
No, he said it's on Wii.
Oh, Wii. That's
Yeah, it's on Wii.
That doesn't exclude
Okay.
it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, well, he said earlier it's
I
on
said
a
it
handheld.
was not a
I asked him.
handheld.
He told me
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
So this thing appeared on Wii. Jeez,
And Boom Blocks wasn't ported to other stuff.
well,
That's not abstract.
Boomblocks is not on mobile. As far
Well,
as
it
I
is kind
know.
of abstract.
yeah, I don't think Boomblocks was ever ported to mobile, and Boomblocks had a sequel, so it can't be that either. This didn't have a sequel.
Did wait? Did Nintendo make this game?
No.
I
Okay,
guess maybe that was a dumb question.
it's not
Like
Mercury.
a third party
Yeah,
Wii game.
they don't do stuff like that.
Yeah, there were a lot of third-party Wii games. It could have been.
Especially physics-based ones.
Yeah.
So it's not like Monkey Ball.
Oh! What the goopy one?
Yeah.
World
yeah,
of Goo.
The World of
Well, it's
Goo.
World
As
of Goo.
well as Orbs.
It's World of Goo.
Yeah.
Is it World of Goo?
Yes.
The goopy one! The goopy one!
19 questions. That was a close one.
Goodness, that's an
No,
excellent.
but the
Goo.
Wii was essential to know that because it was a Wii game that I associate with that game with.
Yeah. See,
Came to Wii and PC, I think,
What a
at the
great
same
game.
time.
I played that
Yeah.
game on mobile and
It
again
came
on
to
PC.
mobile in 2010.
Orbs and
Yeah.
physics.
That was a Wii game for me. Yeah.
Orbs is kind of a.
Physics-based.
I mean, I guess I.
I mean, he
understand.
asked if it involved spheres or orbs, and I was like, kind
close
of.
enough. Yeah, that
like,
was good.
yeah.
Thanks for the
Good
2008 clue. I was like,
That was
okay,
developed by
it's
what?
gotta
2D
be-
Boy.
yeah.
I don't know
2D
what they
Boy.
went on to do after.
I don't know either, because there was never a sequel.
I kind of want to go look them up now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know that they started like the indie fund and funded other indie products, but I don't know what they're actually developing.
They're making Fallout 5.
Could be.
Yeah, that's a really cool game. So, like, you understand, like, when you asked if your character,
Yeah,
like,
totally.
has legs.
You're,
Oh, yeah,
you're like
yeah, it's totally right.
You're like a goth girl in that game.
No, you're not.
Yeah, there's like a little plot about the factory town, and you're like a.
Yeah, it's probably better answered the way he did, though. We'd have been totally lost trying to get.
You're a goth girl in this physics
side
puzzle
scroller.
I think there's like a
Goth girl side
a
scrollers.
Tim Burton type family that the game's about.
don't
You're
know.
thinking of American McGee's.
No,
Alice.
you're right, but I guess I don't. When I don't think about you as being that person when you're building up the goo towers and stuff. Like, I feel like that's separate from like the little story that's happening.
So, Jared, is World of Goo played from a first-person or third-person perspective?
I would think of it as a third-person perspective.
I would as well, but
Yeah.
I agree that it's kind of a stretch.
This is hurting my head. What's the name of the weird little SNES puzzle game where the girl has the hook and like swings around, or the Super Famicom one? Do you guys remember that?
Well, that could be first person because the reticle's on the screen.
There's that.
Super Hook Girl.
Yeah,
Hook Girl.
I think I'm
can't
siding
remember
with
what it
Damon on that's unanswerable.
is. Yeah, it's good. No, Damon was in
You
a
don't
hard
see
place
your
there.
character, so it can't be third person.
Also, we will never have a Flash game. So, which means we will never have Choo Choo Rocket.
Choo Choo
Full
Rocket.
screen here.
I bet World of Goo is a Flash game. Just gonna throw that out there.
What, World of Good? You might have been the Flash.
Yeah, I actually think World of
Flash game?
Maybe.
It didn't start as a Flash
It's
game.
hard to tell in that era. Flash
Yeah.
is just a way to create a game at that time.
Yeah.
That doesn't just mean browser based. That's how we should have narrowed it down.
Before we go this week, I put out a call on Twitter for a Photoshop challenge for this
Ooh.
photo of Justin and I that we took at a recent photo shoot for an upcoming video series.
That is some Olin Mills stuff right
Best
there.
friends forever.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
If you'll pull that down, Sean, I've selected some winners here that I can share from you. This is a pretty good one from Aaron Kaiser.
Oh, some of these I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, some of them came in today.
Oh, can't wait.
This is from Aaron Kaiser. This one's pretty good.
Oh, I like that one. Oh, yeah.
It's the video game version of Video Game 20 Questions.
Is
we
that
could
like
put
part
out
of the
a
Japanese
20 question
porn edition?
Part of the-
right there?
yeah.
It's
trivia
just
series.
that's how we would be. That's like pixels.
Okay. I was
right.
thinking that was a mosaic effect.
And this one
It
comes
is
from
Mosaic effect.
Arthur
You can
Imig?
Control F to full screen, by the way.
Control
Command F. Sorry.
Control Command F.
Yeah, Command F.
Command F. No, that doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
No.
Macintosh is known for their simplicity.
This one's a Titanic take
That's
on it.
lovely. That's adorable.
I'm the king of the world.
I'm Kate.
Yeah.
Was that her name? No, Kate Winslet was the actor.
No,
Rose.
I'm-
Rose.
No, it's the other way around.
No,
actually.
I'm Rose.
Oh.
You're Leo.
So you're the king of the world.
Let's see. This one is
I believe
from Doc Theck. Put us on a roller coaster here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I like our shirts.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear a yellow T-shirt though. Just for future Photoshop reference, everyone, I wouldn't wear a yellow
not
T-shirt.
But green, right? You'd wear
It's
green.
not Damon's
I
color.
like blue or black. Yeah.
No
that's-
Flash games, no yellow T-shirts.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's true. This is from Eric. This is probably Justin's favorite.
This one's my favorite.
This one is from
This
Eric
one really
Schisler.
encapsulates.
Yeah. This is Prom Scoop.
Ooh.
That's good.
When I think about Damon and I,
Did
this is
anybody
what
just
I'm-
put Marty in there with you guys? That's
No,
always
no,
funny.
I don't think anyone put Marty in here with us.
This is what I'm picturing when I picture the two of us.
I like
This
your
is just how you think of us. Yeah.
I like your corsage, Justin. That's
Pretty good.
That's wonderful.
Good arms.
I'll show you a couple
You do
more
have nice
here.
arms.
Did you see?
What? I haven't seen this one either.
Okay,
Watch out.
that's my favorite.
What is that?
That's the new. That's Punch Out NX right there.
It's
the
Punch
new
Out 2 on the NX, yeah.
There you go.
Are our audio listeners still listening to this?
I'll cut this out for the audio
Okay.
listeners. This is a video exclusive.
Kids, this is why you gotta watch.
Did you see this one?
No, I didn't see a lot of these.
This is from Patty King.
Bad Mario and Luigi costume.
Yeah. You look good with the mustache. though.
Thank you. Wish I could grow a mustache.
I like how my Yoshi outfit is just like a shirt.
Yep.
Just
Just a weird
got a
shirt
great-
cut out.
Sam, is
I wonder if
mustache
that's
all it's
from
cracked
a,
up to be?
No.
No.
I wonder if it's from a costume site.
Let's see this. The last one. This is the Pod Central.
Ooh.
You have a mustache. What are you talking about?
There you go.
Oh,
Put us
look
in
at that
Star Wars,
one.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
Oh my gosh, are you Dak?
I think I'm Damon.
You're Damon.
Yeah.
All right.
But Justin Solo there. That's like the happiest Han Solo I've ever seen.
I know.
It's pretty
That's
good.
pretty good. Yeah.
Those are great. Very fun. Thank you for participating. I'll leave you with this nightmarish.
Yep. If you want to have nightmares tonight,
There.
just enjoy.
Whoa.
Just imagine this as you fall asleep in your beds
I
tonight.
always,
Well, those are
I always
surprisingly
do.
family friendly. So thanks for that, everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't get any bad ones.
That's excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
All right, I think that's all the scoops that we have for you this week. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam. Remember,
Good
you can
scoops.
always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. My name is Damon, this is IGN Gamescoop, and we're out.